Welcome to my 5-minute Vampire the Masquerade plot session. I love creating vampire plots, or just plots for any sort of book or adventure, but it really takes a long time, which is annoying, and it's the sort of initial creation which is the most exciting. So here I get the best of both worlds. I get to just create the plot and leave the development or the hard work to any GM who wants to make use of it. Anyway, so this is the first session. It's the second take, because the first one went over long. So I drew Brujah, Nosferatu and Gangrel as the clans for this session. Okay, and go. So what I've been initially thinking is these are marginal clans, in most cities. So set in a city where they are marginal, and a North American city quite close to a lot of nature. Maybe not neonates, vampires who've been there for sort of 10 years or so, so got over the initial hump and into the sort of yearning for some human stuff that they've lost, and unsecure about their own position, and that kind of restlessness, beginning of teenagerhood. So I'm imagining in some club or private room of a club, the coterie of Gangrels, Nosferatu and Brujah sitting down, sharing a human or two, and just commiserating about how politics sucks, and bad-mouthing the Ventru, and how the whole, just basically commiserating about their lack of position, lack of standing, sharing a kine or two that maybe are a bit drugged up, so everybody gets a bit excited and dizzy. And one of the Gangrels comes up with the idea, let's go back to nature. We're not going to sort of connect with our humanity by just staying in the city. Cities are artificial even for humans. Let's go back to nature. Let's do a road trip. Nice and relaxing. The other ones, even if there's a bit dizzy, he say, well, what about the Garou? He says, don't worry, I know this park just outside the city there. Really wild nature. We can go vegetarian for a while. Change of diet will do us good. There's some bears, there's some good game, and I've been through it many, many times. No Garou. None whatsoever. Oh, okay, they all get interested, and then in an idea that seemed good at the time, pile up into a station wagon, not sort of frozen beers, but frozen blood packs in the back, and head out for this new adventure, resource to nature, get all hippie-ish. And they get there, and then you can do an initial description, and it's fun a little bit, initially, maybe for the first hour. And then, like a lot of road trips, it turns out it's a lot more fun in concept than in execution. It's just rather dull. Nature, vampires don't really connect well with it, and they're trying to force themselves to. And then they do notice a wolf go by. The wolf nods to them and continues on. And then another wolf gone by. It also nods to them respectfully. And then a human goes by, looking very, dressed for hunting, the whole uniform, nods to them and goes by. And pretty quickly it becomes obvious that, these are Garou. Garou behaves in an incredibly strange way, but definitely Garou. Because because after a while when a wolf goes behind a tree and a naked human steps out there, yeah, no doubt about it. But they're not attacking, they're not making any threatening noises, they're being respectful. If any of the characters have aspects, then a brief gaze at their aura would show that they're not actually respectful, they're just being polite. A lot of rage, all the usual rage, but contained. They're not savaging these vampires that they've just found for some reason. This will probably set off a little bit of a panic or curiosity or something at some point, and as they start to try and move, they notice that they're being ever so discreetly herded in a particular direction. Just herded. Not aggressively, though there's maybe implications that could get aggressive if they tried to resist. And they are pushed respectfully into a clearing where there are not only more Garou than they've seen in their lives, 30 or 40, there's also a good 20 or 30 vampires as well. And they come in just as the prince of their city, some other honcho that they don't know but seems really important, are in the process of doing a very firm politician's handshake with the leading Garou. And the vampire's eyes turn towards them, the Garou's eyes as well, but and they can tell that they've stumbled on something where they shouldn't be. However, this being a rather delicate situation, there's no sort of sudden accusations or recriminations or vampires pointing their fingers at them and saying, "Who are they?" Instead, they're sort of called into the group, and over the course of the next night, as some negotiations continue between the Garou and these vampires here, it sort of becomes obvious that the vampires are trying to maneuver them alone to dispose of them discreetly without drawing the Garou's attention, or some of them are at least. Others of them may seem to be sort of more willing to just sort of let them go, or some of them are just not aware that this bunch of is not really supposed to be here at all. So while not trying to get killed, not trying to get isolated, and not trying to draw the Garou's attention, they have to sort of get out of this ambassadors meeting with their own lives, while at the same time deciding if they really want to figure out what is going on, which may give them some fodder for blackmail but also make them much more of a target, or carefully avoid learning anything about what's going on, because then they'd be less likely to get killed. Anyway, that is my 5 minutes, or a bit more than 5 minutes vampire plot. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to make anything of it, or nick small bits of it if you want. Thanks.